Welcome to Don't Do This Guide, where we dive into the do's and don'ts of urban gardening. In the heart of bustling cities, urban gardens serve as a breath of fresh air, a green oasis amidst the concrete jungle. But these urban havens are not without their challenges. One major hurdle? Pests. A single female fruit fly, for instance, can lay up to 500 eggs at once, turning your verdant paradise into an infestation nightmare overnight. And surprisingly, using the wrong pest control method can actually multiply your pest problems instead of solving them. So, how can you effectively keep these pesky invaders at bay? That's what we're here to help with. We're going to delve into the top pest control mistakes that can endanger your urban garden and how to avoid them. If you find this guide useful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more insightful content. Stay tuned as we uncover the top pest control mistakes you should avoid to keep your urban garden thriving. First on our list of common mistakes is overlooking preventive measures. Picture this. You've spent weeks cultivating your urban garden only to wake up one morning to find your precious greens ravaged by pests. Heartbreaking, isn't it? This could have been avoided with preventive measures. Many gardeners, particularly beginners, focus on treating pests once they appear. But this approach is akin to closing the barn door after the horse has bolted. Instead, a proactive approach, where you aim to prevent pests from setting up shop in your garden in the first place, is far more effective. Regularly inspect your plants, especially the undersides of leaves where pests love to hide. Keep an eye out for the early signs of pest infestation such as discoloration, spots, or irregular growth. These signs are your first line of defense. Ensure your plants are healthy and robust. Pests tend to target weak, stressed plants, so proper watering, feeding, and care can go a long way in preventing infestations. Another preventive measure is practicing good sanitation. Remove fallen leaves and debris, which can harbor pests. Regularly clean your gardening tools to avoid transferring pests from one plant to another. Lastly, consider implementing physical barriers like netting or row covers to keep pests away from your plants. Remember, prevention is better than cure, especially when it comes to pest control. By taking these preventive steps, you're not just reacting to problems, but actively creating a garden environment where pests find it hard to thrive. Next up, we have misidentifying pests. Imagine this: you spot a bug on your beloved tomato plant. You panic, reach for the nearest pesticide and spray away. But wait, what if that bug was a beneficial insect? Or what if that bug was resistant to the pesticide you used? Misidentifying pests can lead to ineffective treatments, wasted time, and even harm to beneficial insects and overall plant health. It's like taking cold medicine for a toothache. It just doesn't work. So how can you avoid this blunder? Knowledge is power, folks. Start by getting familiar with common pests in your area. Aphids, caterpillars, slugs, and beetles are notorious for wreaking havoc in urban gardens. Learn what they look like in various life stages, from egg to adult. Next, pay attention to the damage. Different pests leave different calling cards. For instance, aphids suck plant sap, causing leaves to curl and yellow. Caterpillars, on the other hand, are famous for their voracious appetite, leaving large, irregular holes in leaves. Finally, don't hesitate to seek help. There are plenty of resources available, from local extension services to online gardening communities, where you can share a picture and ask for identification help. Remember, the key to solving a problem is understanding it first. Accurate identification of pests is crucial for effective pest control. The third mistake is the overuse of chemical pesticides. Now, this is a common pitfall that many urban gardeners fall into. The immediate results can be so gratifying that it's easy to get carried away, but over-reliance on these chemicals can lead to a host of problems. Firstly, overuse of chemical pesticides can lead to pest resistance. Yes, pests can adapt, and over time they become immune to the chemicals that once eradicated them, necessitating stronger and more toxic chemicals. This vicious cycle not only harms the environment but can also lead to a rebound effect, where pest populations surge back stronger than before. Secondly, these chemicals don't just target the pests. They can also harm beneficial insects and organisms that play a crucial role in keeping your garden healthy. These helpful critters aid in pollination, decomposition, and even pest control themselves. But when we saturate our gardens with chemicals, we're inadvertently wiping out these beneficial organisms. And let's not forget, these chemicals don't disappear magically. They seep into the soil, affecting its health and fertility, and can even find their way into our water systems, posing potential health risks. So what's the solution? Well, it's about finding a balance. Opt for less toxic alternatives when possible, like neem oil or diatomaceous earth. Consider integrated pest management strategies that focus on long-term prevention through a combination of techniques. While chemical pesticides can be effective, they should be used sparingly and responsibly. Remember, a healthy garden is not just about eliminating pests, but promoting an ecosystem where all life can thrive. Fourth on our list is ignoring natural predators. Now you might be thinking, predators in my garden? No thank you. But hear me out. Nature has its own way of maintaining balance. In the wild, pests have natural enemies that keep their population in check. And guess what? These predators can be your secret weapon against pests in your urban garden. We're talking ladybugs feasting on aphids, spiders spinning webs for flies, and birds picking off caterpillars. Welcoming these creatures into your garden is like having a free round-the-clock pest control service. Plus, it's a great way to promote biodiversity and keep the ecosystem in your garden healthy and balanced. So, how do you attract these helpful predators? It all comes down to providing the right habitat, like birdhouses, bug hotels, and native plants that they love. Remember, natural predators can be your best allies in the fight against pests. The fifth mistake is the incorrect application of treatments. Now here's the thing, pest control treatments, whether chemical or organic, are designed to work in specific ways. Misuse or incorrect application can lead to a host of problems. For instance, applying too much of a product can harm your plants, not just the pests. Similarly, using a treatment at the wrong time of day or under the wrong weather conditions can dramatically reduce its effectiveness. Furthermore, not following the recommended frequency of application can open the door for pests to bounce back. And let's not forget, incorrect application can also pose a risk to beneficial insects and even your own health. It's crucial to read and follow the instructions on the label carefully. Always remember, the goal is not just to eliminate pests, but to do so in a manner that maintains the overall health and balance of your urban garden. Incorrect application of treatments can render them ineffective and even harmful. Sixth on our list is overlooking companion planting. Companion planting is an age-old practice where different species of plants are grown together for mutual benefit. This is not just about saving space or maximizing yield, but it's a clever strategy for organic pest control. Some plants naturally repel certain types of pests. For instance, marigolds are known to deter nematodes, while basil can keep away mosquitoes and flies. By thoughtfully pairing these plants with others that are susceptible to those pests, you create a protective shield around your garden. Moreover, some plants attract beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings that prey on harmful pests. This means you're not just keeping pests away, but also inviting natural predators into your garden, adding an extra layer of defense. So don't let your plants go solo. Let them mingle and form alliances. Companion planting is a natural and effective way to control pests in your garden. The seventh mistake is neglecting soil health. You see, healthy soil is like a superhero, protecting plants from many pest problems. It is a bustling city of beneficial microbes, insects, and worms that work together in a beautiful symphony to nourish your plants and keep pests at bay. But if this delicate ecosystem is disrupted, pests can thrive. So how do we maintain healthy soil? First, you'll want to keep it well aerated. This means avoiding compaction and ensuring good drainage. Next, consider adding organic matter. Compost, for instance, is your soil's best friend. It feeds the beneficial organisms, improves soil structure, and helps retain moisture. You can also plant cover crops, which protect and enrich the soil during off-seasons. And remember, avoid using harsh chemical pesticides and fertilizers. These can harm the beneficial organisms in your soil, tipping the balance in favor of pests. Healthy soil is the foundation of a healthy, pest-free garden, so give your soil the love it deserves and it will love your garden back. Eighth on our list is inconsistent monitoring. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a garden. How much monitoring does it really need? Well, quite a lot, actually. Monitoring your garden is not just about checking the growth of your plants, it's also about keeping an eye out for any signs of pest infestation. Inconsistent monitoring can lead to a small pest problem spiraling out of control. Imagine you miss spotting a few aphids on your roses one week. By the next week, those few aphids could have multiplied into hundreds, causing significant damage to your plants. Monitoring also involves checking for any changes in plant health. Yellowing leaves, stunted growth, or wilting could all be signs of a pest problem. And remember, not all pests are visible to the naked eye. Some, like root knot nematodes, live in the soil and attack plant roots. Regular soil checks are therefore just as important. So don't let your guard down. Regular monitoring is key to early detection and control of pest problems. The ninth mistake is failing to rotate crops. Now let's delve into why this is crucial for urban gardening. Crop rotation is a time-honored technique that helps to break the life cycle of pests and diseases. Imagine having the same plant in the same pot year after year. It's like throwing a never-ending feast for pests who love that particular plant. Not an ideal situation, right? By changing up the plants in your pots or plant beds, you're essentially keeping pests on their toes. They can't establish a permanent residence because their food source keeps changing. This also helps in preserving soil nutrients, as different plants have varying nutrient requirements. Ignoring crop rotation can lead to a buildup of specific pests and diseases, which can be much harder to manage in the long run. So if you've been planting tomatoes in the same pot for years, maybe it's time to switch things up. Crop rotation is a simple but effective strategy in pest management. And last but not least, the 10th mistake is ignoring water management. Water plays a crucial role in urban gardening, but it's not just about keeping your plants hydrated. It's also about pest control. You see, pests like mosquitoes are attracted to stagnant water while fungi and molds thrive in overly damp conditions. On the other hand, underwatering can stress plants, making them more susceptible to pests and diseases. So striking a balance is essential. How can you achieve this? First, water your plants in the morning. This allows the water to evaporate during the day and prevents the soil from staying too damp overnight. Secondly, consider using a drip irrigation system. It delivers water directly to the plant's roots, reducing water waste while keeping the foliage dry and less attractive to pests. Lastly, don't forget to regularly clear out standing water from your garden. This includes emptying rain barrels, getting rid of puddles, and overturning containers that can collect water. Proper water management can significantly reduce pest problems in your garden. So, urban gardening is a rewarding endeavor, but it comes with its share of challenges, especially when it comes to pest control. Over the course of this guide, we've unearthed some grave mistakes that can turn your green dream into a nightmare. We've learned that preventive measures are your first line of defense, that wrong identification can lead to wrong solutions, and that over-reliance on chemical pesticides can do more harm than good. We've also discovered the importance of acknowledging natural predators as allies, and how incorrect application of treatments can backfire. We've dug into the often overlooked practice of companion planting, and how neglecting soil health can invite unwelcome guests. We've seen how inconsistent monitoring can let a minor issue become a major problem, and how failing to rotate crops can set up a buffet for pests. And let's not forget, ignoring water management can create a breeding ground for many pests. By avoiding these common mistakes, you can ensure your garden remains healthy, productive, and most importantly, pest-free. Remember, the key to successful urban gardening is observation, prevention, and adopting a holistic approach to pest management. Your garden is more than just a collection of plants. It's a complex ecosystem where every element plays a critical role. So take the time to understand it. Be proactive in your approach. And remember, sometimes less is more. And there you have it, folks, the top mistakes to avoid in urban gardening pest control. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we've got plenty more where this came from. And hey, if you know someone who could benefit from this guide, share it with them. Your support helps us bring more content like this to you. Until next time, keep your garden growing and your pests at bay. Happy gardening.